This, my friends, is the playbook.
Rankings and then picks, or picks and power rankings? Power rankings, okay. All right, Az, start us off. What you got for power rankings?
Right on. Power rankings. I'll start one down, and we're going 1 through 5 with an honorable mention. I think number 1 is going to be the same for everybody, and around the league, it should be Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Close game against Cincinnati, but they figure out a way to get it done. I just have belief in Kansas City, what they're going to do the rest of the way this year. It's not much else you can say that's not already been said about them before. Number 2, the Houston Texans. Impressive win against a good defense in Chicago. No mistakes really on the offensive side. Run game was shut down a little bit, but still C.J. Stroud is magical inside or outside of the pocket. And the weapons they have there in Houston, it's going to be a dangerous year. Houston is my number 2. Number 3, I got the New Orleans Saints. If we're going to look at the first 2 weeks of the season, they actually have an argument to be higher, but I just don't believe in the long term of the Saints, but so far it's been great. I mean, the offense was electric against the Dallas Cowboys. Touchdowns on first of the 6 possessions. Might have even been 7, but I think it was 6. 6. So I have the Saints at 3. Number 4, the Buffalo Bills, a team I was down on coming in, but at the end of the day, they're 2-0. And if we're going in early season power rankings, you got to take what you've got, and that's the Buffalo Bills at 4. Number 5, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like the offensive side of the ball way more than the defensive side, but if your offense can keep you in games, that's what Baker Mayfield's going to do with the weapons he has. He's developed relationships with Evans and Godwin. They're a dangerous threat on the offensive side of the ball, taking down Detroit last week. Got to have them in the top 5. And then my honorable mention is the Los Angeles Chargers. Harbaugh, he's got them rolling. I'm sure they played the Panthers. End of the day, you play who's in front of you, 2-0. I like what Harbaugh's got. Not making Herbert win you the football games. Just have him not lose you the games. He can do that. A run game prevalent there. J.K. Dobbins, watch out. Sage, you're not wrong. 1,300 yards. Watch out. 10-plus touchdowns. If he's healthy, he looks like he can do it. That's going to be my 1 through 5 and my honorable mention.
Okay, go Sage next.
Right on.
I'm going to go 1 to 5 as well with an honorable mention, just because we're all going to have the same number 1, those Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, until they're knocked off, we got to keep them there, even if there's a little shindiggery, a little something going on.
It was PI. I think it was pass.
It was PI, but it just always happens.
It always happens for that. It's like the Patriots with Tom Brady. It just always happens for
those
that.
dynasties are just the luckiest
They really are.
people.
Football is a lot of luck, man.
It is. But hey, I mean, they got luck on their side. That also helps them go to number 1, you know?
Yeah.
Number 2, I'm going to go with those Buffalo Bills, just because they did figure out a run game. It took them 4 years. But they were like, you know what? We don't have any receivers. Let's try this running thing out, and they're doing it. They held Tyreek Hill to basically nothing, and they have how many people on their defense that you can really name? Greg Rousseau is having a career year right now, and I just love what they're doing. I mean, they're playing to their strengths, and that defense is coached up nicely. Number 3, give me those Houston Texans. I think C.J. Stroud is taking that next step. I mean, they didn't put up many points against that Bears defense, but it is that Bears defense, which is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they won a game last week without scoring a touchdown on offense. So we know what that Bears defense is and what they're going to continue to be. I don't hold too much against that for C.J. Stroud, but hey, I mean, Joe Mixon, a little banged up right now. But even then, like,
serious is what it looks like, which is good for a hip drop.
Exactly.
It's a dangerous tackle.
Hip drop tackle.
Yeah. But I love that they're figuring out that run game, because last year they were last, 32nd in running. And this year, I mean, after the first week they were first. They didn't have too many rush yards this week, but they're doing great.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing great, and they're expanding their identity. Number 4, give me those New Orleans Saints. You don't get to score over 90 points in 2 weeks and not be in the top 5 right now. They're just blowing teams out. We thought the first week was a fluke, and they went out and said, let me do it again.
Yeah.
You know? Who thought that Derek Carr was going to be an MVP candidate 2 weeks in? Absolutely no one, but it is an election year. That's the only time Derek Carr is good. I don't know if anyone saw that.
That's true.
But Election year Derek Carr is a different breed. I love seeing that. Their offensive line looks like they took a huge step forward. Trevor Penning actually looks like he can block, which he hasn't been able to look like. This new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, turned it around.
Shanahan offensive tree.
Turn it around, yep. Number 5, give me those Tampa Bay Bucs.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, he absolutely looks phenomenal. I love watching them. Their trio of wide receivers is great. Rashad White's a little banged up, but they got that rookie, Buggy Irving, right behind him, and he's been even more efficient than Rashad White. So keep feeding them the ball. Vita Vea's a little banged up. He'll be back soon. Not too worried. They're playing out of their minds right now. Todd Bowles, you proved me wrong. I thought you were a joke as a head coach for a while, but hey, you keep doing it. So props to you. Not honorable mention. I am going to go with the Detroit Lions that just got beat by the Bucs. Detroit, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson had 4.5 sacks last week. Dude's insane. I mean, they're a little banged up. They still haven't quite figured it out, but they're still putting up points. They're still being competitive against really good teams. So I just think they're right on the brink. I mean, they didn't play many people in the preseason, so I think they're still looking to gel.
That's a
But
problem. Around the league, not playing people in the preseason.
It is, but I really think that once they get into that second gear, like they're going to be coasting for a minute. And then with the addition of Jameson Williams actually popping off finally, they might have 2 1s. You know, and they had 1-1, and they were an NFC Championship team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dynamic offense.
Exactly. Jared Goff, only quarterback to throw 300 yards. So
This week.
he's a guy.
Also, 2 picks, no touchdowns, I don't think.
Still a guy.
Still an absolute guy. Colin, I'm coming to you next.
All right, Sage, you and I had the same 1 through 5 identically. So I'm going to be brief with it.
Okay.
Different honorable mention. Chiefs number 1 until further notice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously, it doesn't matter how you do it. A win's a win. And it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of luck on your side. They always seem to pull out these close games, and they always win when it matters. Number 2, Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of props that week 1 against the Cardinals looks a little bit better after this past week because
it does.
Arizona looks
It
pretty
does.
legit.
Arizona looks
And then
dangerous.
going into Miami, obviously Tua goes down late in the second half.
They were kicking our ass anyways.
But they looked pretty dominant
they
in the
looked
start of that game. Houston at number 3, 2-0. They look formidable. I want to see them play like I don't want to discredit the Colts or the Bears too much, but they do have developmental quarterbacks at this
they're
point.
early in their
So I do
careers.
want to see Houston face up against one of those juggernaut other teams just to kind of see how they really size up.
We will see that this weekend.
Yes.
Sort of. As the Vikings. They're 2-0.
2-0. Saints number 4. Talk about it. 15 for 15. 15 drives, 15 touchdowns to start the year. Clint Kubiak, that West Coast offense looks
crazy.
for real. Derek Carr, career best QBR this past week against Dallas, 99.4.
Wow.
Damn good. MVP Derek Carr. Number 5, Tampa Bay Bucs. What a win on the road in Detroit. They're rolling. They look very formidable as well. Baker Mayfield, absolute dog.
Yeah.
And then honorable mention, the one difference here, Addison, your guy. I'm shocked you didn't have him in your top 6. But that Mancock.
Man,
KOC,
baby.
Sam
KOC.
Darnold. Now, what does scare me about Minnesota, obviously no Hawkinson to start the year. Jordan Addison banged up. And now Jefferson got a little banged up. Can their weapons stay healthy enough to really get them to where they need to go?
Taylor's going off next week.
But hey, win at home against San Fran, who we all thought were,
Impressive.
juggernauts, and they still are. But what a win.
Very
So
impressive.
Minnesota gets my honorable mention.
I like it. Yeah, we've all got very similar teams in just slightly varying orders, but I think I've got the exact same 6 as you do, Colin. Same exact 6 teams. I've got first place, Kansas City, best team in the league. This is the team that starts slow, right? Well, they're 2-0 with wins over Baltimore and Cincinnati. So those are probably 2 of the 3. And if you want to include the Bills and maybe even Houston, potentially, we'll see it from Houston. But the Bills are always there in the end. The Bengals and Ravens are always there, and they've already knocked both of them off. So there's your head-to-head and your 2-0. It's annoying.
Going through KC yet again.
Yeah, once again, we'll be going through Arrowhead, and they'll be going to the Super Bowl. Number 2, I'm going Houston. They've just looked strong in all 3 phases of the game, man. Like, offense wasn't fantastic against the Bears, but I give the Bears more credit there than others may. I think that the Texans are a very, very good team, and C.J. Stroud looks legit.
Yeah.
He is damn legit. He's going to be very good. We'll see a lot about how good he is this weekend against the Vikings, because I think the Vikings defense should get more credit than it's getting.
Yeah.
Number 3, I do have Buffalo Bills at number 3 here. Once again, the September champs doing what they do. They're doing it so differently this year. It's not explosive through the air. I mean, Josh Allen hasn't even reached 300 yards in the season yet, and he doesn't have to. If he doesn't have to, why would you? Just run the ball. And maybe they recognize that, hey, we don't have the guys to throw it to. Let's run the ball and play good defense, and that's what they're doing. And so far, it's worked out pretty well for them. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, baby. Went into Detroit, and they were just a better team. They were just flat out better. made Goff look bad. Even with all the injuries on their backside, they were missing how many starters from their secondary? 4 or 5 starters. Plus Vita Vea goes out hurt and Rashad White's hurt. Like, they are banged up, and they are still winning football games. And more on Tampa Bay in a minute, because this play is from their game. I think their offense is playing at a very high level, and their offensive play calling is second to none. Number 5, I've got New Orleans Saints. 91 points in their first 2 games is second most in NFL history through first 2 weeks of the season. That is crazy. Derek Carr has been quietly great from the start of last season, to be fair. Like, I've been dogging him. I'm hand up. I've been dogging him. Last year, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks. That's not bad. This year so far, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had a stretch from last year until this recent game, 17 touchdowns to 2 picks. That is elite. That is elite. If they're going to do this, if they're going to put up points like this, man, it's hard. That's going to be a hard team to beat. Maybe they finally got a competent coaching staff in there. Maybe Kubiak as the OC is figuring something out with them. And then honorable mention, I've got Minnesota. And again, Sam Darnold looks great. I mean, that 97-yard touchdown to Justin Jefferson. Also, can we talk about the back judge keeping up? Did you guys watch that? That ref, he was flying. He was flying. And he would have had a touchdown to Jefferson and Naylor on that play. Yeah. Naylor was open as well. Kevin O'Connell is absolutely in his bag right now. And Brian Flores has that defense going. He's got that defense going. Minnesota is a team that I absolutely shit on all offseason. It was like, oh, worst team in the division, 100% worst team in the division. And I can't confidently say that right now. I don't know who is, but I can't confidently say that it's the Vikings. Do we? In the NFC North, do we?
Bears, probably. Bears.
Oh, but Malik Willis is the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
He won a game.
So did Caleb Williams. They're both 1-1. Yes, Caleb Williams still looking for that first one.
Of his career, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was his first of his career. Yeah, and I mean, it's nobody in the NFC North looks dominant right now. Let's say that.
Not yet, no.
Real quickly on those are my power rankings. I go Kansas City, Houston, Buffalo, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Minnesota. The play I've got up here, and I'll zoom in on the camera so we can see it. I love the play design here. So this is the Tampa Bay game. This is a touchdown pass to Chris Godwin, who is in the slot here. You've got a corner here and a corner here, and a safety up here. Now, obviously, there's more than 3 defenders on the field. Otherwise, it'd be a really easy touchdown. So you've got number 7 for the Bucs coming this way. It's a play action. He goes in motion. He comes across the field. They play action the running back who comes out this way. So you've got defenders occupied here. Now you've got this one, him, and Evans. Godwin and Evans are both open over here, and I'm grabbing the mic and I'm standing up for it. So they're running a cover 3. So this safety has this is his responsibility. This safety or this corner's got this area, and this corner's supposed to drop back this way. But the brilliance of this play call is what Mike Evans does here, because Chris Godwin's running a slot fade. That is a very common route. That's nothing new here. The impressive thing is what Mike Evans runs, is he goes up and he fakes the post. He's already run this post 3 times in the game up to this point. He runs the post. This corner is running with him because that's his responsibility is back here. He sees him start to cut, goes to hand off to this safety, sees him cut back upfield. That's the difference here. He doesn't run a post. Instead of coming here, he goes up. So now this corner's like, oh shit, he's still mine, but this safety's already coming over. So what happens? All of a sudden, this guy's coming this way a little bit, and this guy's here. No one is in this space at all. And Baker Mayfield hits the whole shot because this guy's playing underneath. And we've got Chris Godwin right here, catches it, easy touchdown. It was one of my favorite plays I saw this weekend, and it was a perfect play call. Football is like, I think football is like 70% luck. Because they called the perfect cover 3 beating play against a cover 3 defense. You don't know that they're running cover 3. You have no clue. And if it's man coverage, who knows if Godwin gets that open? It's a lot harder of a throw to make. And it was a perfect play call with the motion. You get the numbers advantage. It was very, very well done. And I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing in Tampa Bay right now. Very impressed. And with all their injuries and with Baker Mayfield being completely written off by right here, I thought last year they were going to be awful. He was revived his career, and Baker Mayfield looks like a guy. They look like a team, man. Tampa Bay looks dangerous.